Alright, good morning. Welcome to another Living Freestyle Game Dev AMA live stream. My name's Kevin. We do this twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings right now. Kind of works like office hours. We're mostly about asking questions and stumbling through problems. So we're working primarily with Unreal and just game dev in general. I am a professional game developer. I'm lucky enough to get to do this every day. But pretty focused on front-end stuff, characters, animation, character setup, stuff like that. So this is a chance for me to learn a whole lot about all the rest of the parts of the pipeline as well. Now, if there are no questions, which happens pretty frequently, we fill the time by live streaming me making my game, which is, again, stumbling forward. It gives me a chance to learn a whole lot about what all the other disciplines are working with. Specifically, right now, we've been working a lot with inventory systems. We're just kind of making our way progressively trying to get to a playable prototype. With that, I took a look through. I didn't see any questions from the previous chats or previous streams, so that's cool. We're just gonna hop right back in. And can you believe it's already August? I can't believe it's already August. So, but let's make sure we're set up to get to work. In this case, we're going to make sure we're actually streaming Unreal, which is cool. And a lot has happened. I was able to get a bunch of stuff done since the last time that we were here. Hold on one second. Because the Lyra or Lyra, depending on how you say it, inventory stuff didn't quite have everything that we needed. So a few things that we've added since the last time, just to bring you all up to speed, is if we bring up our inventory, first off, we actually have an inventory interface. I've updated this a fair bit, but let's go ahead and pick up some items so we can kind of see it working. These are just the normal weapon spawners that Lyra had. This is a plasma, and I want to show you a few things. So now you can kind of see we're starting to get a little bit more information with our inventory UI. If I try to equip plasma, right now it doesn't give me the right message because you can't technically equip plasma. This is going to be something that you can consume. But if I try to equip a rifle or a pistol or something like that that's already equipped, it'll tell me it's already equipped. Now, we've taken this a step further so that I can carry more than the 3 weapons. So in this case, I can grab the shotgun. You'll notice I did not equip the shotgun. That's because it got put in my inventory as a weapon that I can pick up. So with that, let me... Whoa. Let me make sure something's going on with the stream real quick here. Okay, I believe we're good. All right. Back to Lyra, which for some reason the audio is very light. So anyways, we have the shotgun here, and what we can do is we can actually swap these out now. So if I want to swap the shotgun for the rifle, if I just click on my shotgun, you'll notice my shotgun goes up top and my rifle gets put back in my inventory. Now, this yellow area is going to be more like our backpack for the game that we're making. We need to be able to collect items, pick them up, and things like that. We've also added the ability to kind of display a little bit of the information about the items, like how much ammo we have for each of the things and how many of them we have. Now, there's a couple of problems that we have that are worth talking about. Oh, also, something else to note. So right now our shotgun's equipped. We've also added the ability to drop stuff. So if I drop this shotgun and put it there, we can drop our beam cannon and put it there. You'll see that it now puts these things in world. Because we want to be able to pick up stuff. I want to be able to maybe trade something by dropping it and giving it to a teammate or something like that. So now that we have that, it looks like our stream is cut off at the right hand side here a little bit. So let me fix that real quick. We need this. So just take a second. Oh, I see. This overlaps. Now we're good. Now we're good. Okay. So we added the ability to drop this stuff, which is cool. Which also means that I can also run around without weapons at all now. When we look at our inventory, it's empty. If we pick it up, it will equip it into the first available slot. Same thing here. Now, let's take a look at a couple problems. So right now I have the rifle equipped. If I sit here and shoot some ammo, you'll notice that we get down to nothing. We reload. So I only have 60 rounds left in this rifle. But watch what happens when I drop it. I drop it, now I pick it back up. I am back to 90 rounds in the rifle. Every time I drop this rifle, the problem is the item that I'm creating is an original pickup. So it's gonna have the default pickup for any rifle in this case. So this is something that we're gonna be fixing this morning for sure. What are some of the other issues that we were gonna try to fix this morning? Pistol and the beam cannon. You know what? As we go through, we'll figure out what they are. I think in general, we're probably going to change our pickups to not use these weapon spawners anymore for a couple reasons. The weapon spawners won't equip in an inventory with if we're full. So for example, in this case, it's telling us spare ammo full, so it won't pick up anymore, which I guess is fine. But for example, the shotgun, if I drop this shotgun, or no, let's drop this rifle. So we'll drop the rifle, and then we need to equip the shotgun. Now if I go try to pick up the rifle, this will say spare ammo full, but if I go to pick up the rifle, it just doesn't do anything. And it doesn't do anything because it thinks all my slots are full, and it won't give it to me. But if I walk over my rifle, you'll see it puts it in my backpack. Alright, so there's a couple things that we just need to tweak here. But first, let's fix this ammo thing when we drop an item. So to do that, there's a couple bits about this. If we look at our drop, so here's our drop weapon. What I originally tried with this last night, which I think is worth pointing out, is in the inventory fragment for set stats, I actually went through and I made this protected property, the initial item stats, public, so I could change it. And I went through all my blueprints and I changed it so that it would actually know how much ammo you had when you equipped. Well, the problem was, what that actually did, what changing this protected thing in a class ref did, is it actually changed the original source U asset. So every time if I change that to 777 bullets, when I open that blueprint now, that basic stats thing, they all say 777. So that is not the place to do that. Now, it makes sense in hindsight, but anyways, just worth pointing out. So, alright, so what we're going to do is, let's first check to see if we have any questions. We don't. Okay, cool. Is we're going to grab our stats. All right, and let's get what were we gonna do? Let's see here. No, this is the inventory fragment. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna do this here. Let's see here. We're spawning an actor. We're getting the item definition. Get stat. Get stat tag count. Okay. And let's get our spare ammo. That's one of them. And then let's also get our actual. So here's our weapon. Let's get our magazine ammo. Okay, so both of these, this is going to be for the item that we've got. We're removing the item from the slot. I wonder when we remove it where it puts it. Oh, I see. This is the inventory manager component. And that's removing the item instance. So is this an item instance? The item instance that it's removing is the item instance, which comes from here. It's the same one we're feeding off of. Okay, so that's gonna work. Now, just because I don't like this triple noodle connect, let's reconnect this guy twice. Okay. And our total ammo is going to be these two added together. So let's add these two together. So this is going to be our total ammo. And what we want to do is when we spawn this actor, we have this test pickup actor. We want to set our item stats. So I've been thinking about this a couple different ways. One way we can think about this is when we do our overlap and we equip the actor, we can basically set the stats. In this case, for example, if we get the stat tag count, add stat. Okay, so here we go. What we can do in here is remove stat. Okay. So in this case, if we remove our spare ammo, let's take a look at spare ammo here. Spare ammo. We can add it back. We know this is gonna work because we could even just have this in here as a test. And let's just use that number, that's 777 as an example. If I do nothing else but do this, right? What's gonna happen is, doesn't matter what the weapon is, it is going to have 777 ammo as our spare ammo for our stat count when I do this, even though we haven't even connected up the drop yet. So that makes it, if I pick it up, you can see I have 867 total because that's the spare ammo plus the other amount. If I drop it again and pick it up, same thing again, right? It's resetting. So we're halfway there. Now we just want to make sure that we actually set these values, okay? And one of the things that we want to do, it's too bad we can't just set it without removing it. That's something that we may want to take a look at. Lyra inventory item in this instance, add stat tag. I'm just looking at the code here to see if we can we get the stat tag, has stat tag, set item def. I'm just curious. Can we do stat tags dot what's available to us here? Oh, it doesn't even tell me. What is stat tags? Stat tags is probably defined in the .h file. Lyra inventory. Where is this? Equipment, ability systems, fragment, inventory, item, instance. Stat tags is an F gameplay stack container. Well, what is that? Let's find them. I'm just trying to see if there's a cleaner way for us to do this. If not, for the sake of, you know, the stream, we can just make it work the way we're doing it right now, but it would be cool to figure out what it is. Oh, look at this, gameplay stack tag. So there's a whole set of stuff. All right, so here we can, in this gameplay stack, we have add stack, remove stack, pre-replicated remove, post-replicated add, post. Okay, so is the tag valid if the stack count is greater than 0? For each of the stacks, if the tag equals the stack tag, new count equals stack dot stack count plus stack count. Interesting. Okay, we do not have the function that I would like to have that makes this easy, which is basically set stacks. But I believe we can make it pretty easily, because the only difference between set stack and add stack is basically it just doesn't do the add. New stack equals stack set in place get def stack count. And it adds the tag count. So, alright, so for now, we're just going to go through tag the count map, remove tag. We're basically gonna update this. We're gonna add a new function to this later, but we'll do that offline. For now, we're just gonna do this way, the way we are doing it right now. All right, so we know this works. What we need as part of this test blueprint is, let's make a variable to store our stuff. And it's going to be, let's see if we can make this a little bit smarter. All right, we're gonna make this a stat tags, and it's gonna be, I'm gonna see if we can make this a map. A map. Interesting. Oh wait, I know what it is. Stat tag. Stat tag. Ooh. Stats. I guess this is, what is this? A gameplay tag structure. Let's try that. Tag structure. maybe we can't do this. If I make this, what happens? Make a literal gameplay tag. Ooh. So, gameplay tag. Gameplay tag. Here we go. Gameplay tag. There we go. That's what we want. So, and in here, can we set this? Gameplay tag. Stack. Set. Interesting. And get. Can I make this? I can, but it doesn't have the ability to do what I want. So if I make a literal gameplay tag, why does this work? Gameplay tag structure. Gameplay. We're gonna figure this out. Gameplay, all capitalized. Gameplay tag structure. Gameplay tag row. Change it. What's interesting? Oh wait, hold on. Maybe that's all it was. I just needed to compile. Yes. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Why isn't this working? So we're not going to do this. We're going to change this to gameplay tag stack, and let's compile. Stat tags. Nope, that's not it. What is this? The return value is a little f gameplay tag. Gameplay tag structure. Gameplay tag structure. Here we go. Now this is what I wanted. I wanted to see that I could set my default values over here. That's cool. All right, we're getting closer. Now what we're going to do with this though is we're going to turn this into a map. Okay, first part's the tag, second part's the integer. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because when we drop this weapon, right now we're getting the spare ammos and the magazine ammos and the values, and we're adding them together. But what if we actually stored, so if we did this and we set the magazine ammo to 0, when we pick up the weapon, we'd have all the ammunition. But the problem is when we pick it up, there would be no bullets in the chamber. Look, is that a huge deal for what we need? No, it's not a huge deal. We just reload the weapon, but it doesn't take much for us to be able to know when I pick up this gun. Hold on. It doesn't take much for us to, when I pick up this gun, to know what was in the magazine and as a spare. And the reason we want to do that is because for guns it's great. They may have ammo and stuff like that, but we may be dropping other things too. And they may have gameplay stat tags. And what's in those stat tags might be important. So it would be cool if we could just capture all of them, which is what we're doing. So, all right, so we have our stat tags. We want to make sure this is instance editable and expose on spawn. So let's compile this and save, compile and save. Every time I say that, all I can think of is smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. That's from Madagascar. And let's see here. What we're going to do is when we're gonna spawn this actor. This is gonna be messy for a second. Spawn actor. And the reason we're doing this is gonna remake it. Test pickup. So you'll notice that I have my stat tags here. right? So let's just reconnect all this stuff. And this goes to the success. And the spawned actor goes into here. Okay, now we need to make one of these. So let's make this. Make this map. All right, and the cool part is the key is going to be what we're doing down here. We're going to need to find a way to clean this up a lot, but we'll get to that in a second. So in this case, let's get our magazine ammo. Okay. And we're going to set that to be our current magazine ammo. Roger. And then we're also going to add a pin. And this one's going to be our spare ammo. Yeah, I'm excited. It's totally gonna work. Totally gonna work. All right. So now we're actually passing our magazine ammo and our spare ammo to our spawned actor. Now let's just make this less messy, because this is hard to look at. Okay. There's just a lot going on. Inability. Technically, what we could do is, we don't need all of this to go all the way there. We could take each of these and connect them in. So these are all going to go into the inability. Now, is it cleaner if this is up here? It might be. We'll keep it down here. Look at what, oh. Man, what a mess. Okay. Just so messy. Alright, that's gonna help that a lot. Rather than having this go all the way over here, we can just do this. Okay, so that's cleaner there. This is cleaner here. Already feeling better. Feeling like I can breathe. Okay, and this is just an inability. We want to connect in this as well. Okay. Cleans that up. Alrighty. Now, we get our pickup. Oh, chill. This is our map where we're making our stuff. That's fine. And what is all this that's running underneath? Get component by class. This is the Lyra manager component, and it's being used way the heck over here. We could variabilize that. Well, look, it's better than what it was. which is good. There's just a couple bits that we want to clean up a little bit more clarity. I'd really like this not to be. What does this even do? Alright, so we're setting our spawn actor. We're setting that value. We're setting our stat tags. That's fine. Then we set the location. This is where it's putting it in front of us. We're setting the mesh. Okay, I think we're there. Way better. Whew. That was just house cleaning. Alright, so compile and save. Now that we've done that, all that just to get our stack accounts in here. Now what we're going to do in here is when we spawn our actor, we want to make sure that what we do is we go through all our stat tags. Okay? And so what we want to do is keys. We're going to get all our keys. This is going to be important in a second. All right, we're going to get all our keys from our stat tags. And this is going to work that way no matter what we set. It will do its magic. All right, in this case, we're going to go through the keys, and for each of our keys, we're going to loop through. And then when we're done, we'll go back to what we were doing. So let's just remember to do that now. Okay? And we want that so that we don't forget. And then in the meantime, what we'll do is for each of these keys, we're going to, this should be a gameplay tag structure, right? So in this case, we're going to, for each of them, we're going to remove that gameplay tag, and then we're going to add the gameplay tag. Okay? Just for cleanliness. And then we're also going to add and remove the counts. Okay, so what we need to do with this tag is we need to get the actual value. And I'm not worried about removing the count here, but what we can do is, let's see here, from the stat tags, what is this? Why is this so squirrely? So many noodles. I still have not had time to install the electric lines plugin. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll take stat tags and we'll find or get. What is it? Get? Nope. Find. Find is going to take a tag value, in this case, the one that we've looped through. Okay, and that's going to get the value of it and going to set it. You could probably argue that it might be worth doing an if test in here to make sure it actually did find it before we try to set it, but let's just see if this works. Compile and save. Alright, so theoretically, let's go, actually we can just do it with our beam cannon. Alright, so now we have 30 in the magazine and 30 for spare. If we drop this, well, one, let's just see if, even if we're back to being able to pick this up. When we pick this up, interesting, it has 60 in the magazine and 90 in spare. pretty safe to say that did not work. Let's see here. Interesting. Let's debug this. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. Spare ammo, magazine ammo. Spare ammo, magazine ammo. That gets spawned as part of the test. This adds the item to the inventory. Okay, I want to do something crazy. Let's do a delay here. 1 second. No, let's do 0.5. This works. Wait a minute. It's different. Something's up. Let's debug this. We're gonna basically step through this. So here we go. We have an item in our hands. We shoot it a bunch of times. So now we have 30 in the magazine and 30 is spare. We drop it. We gotta pick it up. All right. So let's take a look here. What is our stat tag currently? There's 2 items here. 30 and 30. That is clearly right. So after delay, wait a minute. Oh, I know what's happening. Okay, so the delay is not gonna work. That is for sure. Because what happens is this comes through here, this actor is getting destroyed before we finish doing this. Interesting. Okay, so let's go again. Shoot some stuff. Drop our weapon. Pick it back up. Coming through. Stat tags 30, 30, 30. They are. We're going to loop through. We're going to remove the stat tag that is the first one. And then we're going to add it back. No debug data. Interesting. But that value is 30. Okay. Interesting. Does this actually find this value? It's almost like see if we ever get here. Well, it has to be getting there, otherwise we wouldn't have extra ammo. Yep, it's totally getting there. Stat count of 13. Alright, I want to try one more thing. Yeah, it's definitely adding it in. Let's see something here. If I remove that. Maybe removing the stat tag is not actually removing the tag entirely. Maybe it's just removing a certain amount from that stat. And if that's the case, that would make sense. We're just gonna run it. Nope. That is not working. Okay. I swear we saw this work. So let's do something here. Let's just specify here spare ammo and spare ammo. There may be something wrong with our T map and removing this stuff. So oh, I pressed the wrong button. Hold on, that wasn't a good test. What was the reload button? Oh, that's a grenade button. Wrong button. Very much the wrong. Well, our freeze still works. Okay. There it is, R for reload. Okay, so we have 17 as our spare ammo now. So if we drop this and we pick it up, that's totally not working. That's definitely not working. So that doesn't make any sense because we definitely did this before. So 30 and 44, drop it, pick it up. It's adding it in. Why is it adding it in? $46, 17. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I know what the problem is. I don't necessarily have... maybe I have an idea. Okay, so let's go back to what we were doing before. Alright, this is not doing what I thought it was doing. And I don't know if we really need to add our new function for setting the stat tag, but what we need to do is, the problem is we don't want to remove this amount. This is going to give us a weird value. What we actually want to remove is the current amount. So if we get a stat tag from this, get a stat tag count, and the tag that we get is this, oops, is this one, we're going to remove that amount. Alright, let's make some room here. We are going to move this up. There's no reason to have all this stuff all compressed down here. Okay, so we're gonna come in here and do a bunch of stuff. All right, we're gonna go through all of our stat tags. First thing we're gonna do is remove so what's gonna happen is, the reason this is happening is, when we add this item definition to our character, basically what it's doing is it's setting all the stat counts to the defaults as part of adding the item definition. But we don't want that. So what we need to do is we need to get these amounts. And remove the original amounts. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to get what's currently there, and we're going to remove it. Let's move some of this stuff up. Alright, so we're going to get the current stat count, which is the original one that's made by default. We're going to remove those, not that number. So we should get to 0. It should give us 0. Alright, and then what we'll do is we will add back in the ones that we actually want. Okay, and then when we're done, we'll go about our business. File and save. Okay, so theoretically, if I reload, I have 44 spare and 30 in the chamber. If I drop this, I have 44 spare and 60 in the chamber. Okay, so our spare is working, our spare ammo is working, but our actual chamber is not. And that is because we're not setting the tag here. In all of our shenanigans, we didn't reset this. So again, back to the cleanup. So much going on. We want to make sure that the tag that we're zeroing out is the tag we're looping through. I had no idea this was going to take this long. Okay. Alright, much easier to read now. Okay, so we're getting the original stack we're getting the original stack count for the item that we're working with. We're removing that number, right? Then we probably should put this, we don't even need this if test, here it is, because we've already failed. If we can't remove that, right? We would need to do that test earlier. So what I mean by that is, we should check to make sure we can find that stat tag before we even do the remove. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to finally test and hopefully get our expected results. So let's reload. We got 25 and 50. Let's drop it. 25 and 50. Holy smokes, dude. That took some time, but we finally got there. So let's take a look here. Where are we at? Time-wise. All right, that's cool. So what that means is now, whenever we can even do it where, oh wow. Okay, so we have 11 in the chamber. Let's reload. And what this means is now I can no longer just infinitely give myself infinite ammo. When I pick this up, I have 17 and 41. Was that what it was before I dropped it? I thought it was 11. That worked. 11 and 41. Okay, so now here's the kicker. Now that we have this, that means that when enemies die, they can spawn all their stuff and we can collect it. Might be cool. Alright, and probably something we want to do, but before we do that, I want to show you a problem. Did you see where that spawned when I dropped that gun? It spawned inside the wall. Alright? So we can't really do that. We don't want to do that. And the reason that's happening is we are getting from the controller a position that is 200 units in front of the character, generally speaking. Okay? But what we want to know is this point in the navigable radius? Because we don't want to be dropping our weapons off cliffs or inside objects and things like that. So let's just check nav. Get random location navigable. Nope. Is point. Get random point navigable radius. Project get random reachable point. Reachable? Get current path points. Target data has endpoint. Location in. So we're basically looking for a function that will allow us to see if I feel like get random location and navigable radius. I'd really like to spawn weapons in front of the character, not just in a navigable radius. What we could do is we could use this point and we could get a random point. Here we can do this. Get random reachable point and radius. Get random location navigable radius. Let's try this one. The radius, let's say, is 400, 300, and ooh. Interesting, the nav data. I wonder if it needs a reference here. Find references. Okay, this doesn't take. Okay, so I guess we don't have to have that built in for this to work. Alright, the radius in this case we'll say is 300. Alright, so this is going to basically find from the point in front of us 300 units in front of us. Now, this still could be a problem. If I'm standing right at this wall, now that time it put it on top, which is cool. Okay, but let's go do this at this back wall. Right now we have a rifle. It did not spawn. It did not spawn that in the navigable radius. Couldn't find it. So let's see here. Let's do a quick test on this. if it's true or false, we're going to do this. But in the case of false, I want to print no spot. Alright, and the reason we're doing that is because I just want to double check. Alright, let's do some problems with this. Okay, it can't find a spot. Alright, so what we could do we could just skip all of this, and what we're doing now is basically it'll just find a random point. This is the pistol, so I just put it next to me. The problem is now if I drop something, it may not be in front of me. So how about this? How about this? Let's do this. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to get a random point and then navigable radius. Alright? That's... No, we're not even going to do that. We're going to say, we're going to make this much smaller. We're going to make this within 50 units of a spot right in front of us. Alright? And if that's good, if that's true, we're going to set the spawn point. So let's create a new variable here. Spawn location, or drop location. Drop location. And this is going to be a vector. Okay, and what we're going to do is this is going to fill into our new location, and then with this we're going to set our spawn location. If this is true, we're going to set our spawn location to that. And actually, no, we're going to make this even easier. We're going to get the actor location. We're going to set our spawn location to be the yeah, no, let's do this. I'm going to do this twice. We're going to get a random location within a radius of 300. And we'll use that to set the spawn location. That's going to be our default. Okay, then we're going to do a test, and what we're going to do is if we find a new point, we're going to reset our spawn location, and then we'll just spawn the character, spawn the actor. And if it's false, we're still going to spawn it, but it's going to default to what we had originally set it to, which was just a random point. Okay, and then this seems like it goes uphill to me. Okay, so we can bring a bunch of this stuff back over. So now we should no longer have to worry about spawning our drop items inside walls. Go ahead and retest our scenario. It should spawn right in front of me, which it does every time. Wait a second. Why is it putting it to the left of me? Oh, see, that time it spawned it right on me. Whew, look at this. Lots of errors. We're going to get a random location within the navigable radius. We're setting that to our drop location. Then we're going to get the active location. Yeah, we don't want this. Let's make this smaller. Every time I drop this weapon, it should be in front of it. That is clearly behind me. Still behind me. We get the forward vector, we add that. Maybe this random reachable point isn't working. So let's get random point navigable radius. Let's try this one instead. Because it seems suspect. And either we need our nav data, or it's just not working. Yeah, that's in front of me. That's in front of me. That's also in front of me. Okay. Front of me. Front of me. Alright, that seems to be working. Okay, that's good. Now we can get back to our wall test. So now, it can't spawn it in front of me. So it spawned it next to me. Spawn it next to me. That's good. Okay, so this is working now. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because what we want to do is if we back this dude up to the wall and we kill him, what we'd like to do is when we die, we take all of their items and drop them. Just by default. So in this case, if we come back to our blueprint, this is all cool. All of our drop stuff is here. Maybe we want to drop their whole inventory, maybe we don't. I don't know. But we're kind of getting set up to be able to do the stuff that we want. I think all we need to do at this point is basically track down death. So imagine, let's see if that's shooter mannequin. We're gonna take a quick preview. Shooter mannequin, and it may be in the controller. So the functions or the event graph, inputs, health changed. Oh, that's an interesting spot. Cast a player is valid, report damage. Okay, that's not it. Listen for team, possessed, shield changed, on death finished. Here it is. Clear the inventory. But before we can actually, what does clear inventory do? Look at this. It goes through and it basically loops through everything and removes the items from the slots and removes all the items from the inventory. So rather, what we could do is we could make a new function called drop inventory, which basically does this exact same thing, but rather than actually removing and destroying everything, it's going to do all that. So I think this is a good breaking point to wrap up where we got to today. I think that's, look, we made progress. There was took a little bit longer than I thought, but we're getting a lot closer to being able to come up with, some of all the core pieces that we need for our playable prototype. So we definitely needed to be able to pick up items and have inventory and everything like that. So one thing we're going to do is make it so that when characters die, they drop all their items and inventory and stuff. We can always change that back if we feel like that's too powerful later. The other bit that we want to do is we need to make it so that we can actually use some of the items in our inventory once they actually have uses. And we'll have to do that. Right now, the inventory UI only allows you to equip weapons. If you were to click on something that granted you an ability, that currently just isn't implemented. But we've done a lot of updates to the inventory UI. that allows us to show what we currently have equipped, what we currently have in the backpack. We may come up with the idea of a stash as well, but I'm thinking not. I think it's just the backpack. So, dropping all the items on death, setting it up so that inventory can actually grant abilities and do those kinds of things when you click on the basically consume items from your backpack is going to be a good one. And then the big one that's coming is, how does all of this save? There's the idea of saving local, just the Unreal save game, but we're going to need more of a persistence layer because this is going to be a network game. We're going to be playing online. You're potentially going to leave and come back, and also because of the way my end vision for where we're going with this game is, there needs to be some accountability, so there isn't any kind of cheating going on, because I think items are going to be important in this game. So, as always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw those in the comments. We didn't have any questions today, but if there's anything that you're curious about, you want to try to stumble through together, throw that in as a question, or hop into the next Q&A that's going to be Sunday night at 10:15 Pacific Standard Time. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Sweet, take it easy.